She really need to lose weight, really want to lose weight. And she said, but I've got so many things going on with business and family. And she said, but you know what? There's always something going on. There's always something going on. 80% of this is you starting. And some people want to wait until this stress.
I mean, I can agree. 80% of this is you starting. The first thing you got to do is get started. You got to make a conscious effort that, hey, I don't like what I see in the mirror anymore. Or maybe you had a health crisis like I did, to where I just wasn't about to take any chances anymore. And I just wanted to, one, I didn't like who I was, and I was starting to see the writing on the wall. I didn't think I would be alive in the next 2 years if I didn't do something.
This is out of the way, or that, you know what, one of the best times to start is when things are terrible, because let's be honest, you're not going to want to just gain the weight back after you lose it. So when you wait for everything to be just right, it's more likely you're going to gain it back because stress is coming again. So begin. Number 2 is forget the goal and set a standard. Do you have a goal of getting to work every day? No, you get up and go to work because it's who you are. Too many people are setting a goal of exercise. Right? You have a goal to exercise?
Now, this plays into exactly what a video that I just posted. That's gonna premiere on February the 5th. All right. Whenever when you're in this space, and when you decide that when you made the decision you're going to lose the weight, the only way you're going to really be successful, I know this is the 5 keys to losing 20 pounds in a month. I'm just going to react to it. Okay. But let's talk about the lifestyle change. You have to set a standard for yourself. Like DAWG, which is my channel, Dog Pound Media, is discipline, accountability, work, and grit. This is a standard. Like in my life, I make sure, and through all things, I'm exercising discipline. That's something different. I make sure I hold myself accountable. That's also something that was different. And I make sure I work, and I make sure that I have grit when I'm working, meaning I'm not going to do something and try to create excuses in my head why, oh, this is kind of hard. No. And I recommend anyone who's serious about losing weight that you have to make a lifestyle change. You have to do something that you can do for the rest of your life, especially if you never want to gain the weight again.
That needs to just be who you are. So let's decide, forget setting a goal. Let's have some things that are just me, things that I just do because it's who I am. So I'm not telling you what those things need to be, but you need to decide there's some things that I do, like exercise, just because it's who I am, not because I have a goal. In the same way you get up and go to work because it's who you are. Key number 3 is do a 20-minute walk every day. If you'd rather do another form of exercise, that's okay, but 20 minutes every day. And you might feel like, that's nice, but I'm awfully busy. Hey,
Okay, so if you are starting the 20-minute walk a day, I'm not going to disagree with that, but that's more for someone who is where I am now. If you are close to the weight that I was at 500 pounds, or even close to 500 pounds, over 400 pounds, you have no business walking 20 minutes continuously. Your bones and your tissues are not responding the same way someone who is 100 pounds lighter than you and trying to just get ready for a wedding, or 200 pounds lighter than you just trying to get ready for a wedding. Okay? If you have become so complacent that you barely move around, walking 20 minutes could lead to a cardiac event. Like, you really need to consult a physician. You should always consult a physician before you start any type of physical training. but this could literally have you in the hospital. This could literally have you with both knees swollen up, uh, with inflammation, water retention in your knees, developing osteoarthritis because you're trying to walk 20 minutes. So this is on a case by case basis. Okay, this is not cookie cutter. A lot of people get in this space and they want to make things cookie cutter. Losing weight is not cookie cutter.
Goes back to the standard. Everybody wants the results of a fanatic while they have a casual approach. If you can't decide, now, if I was talking to somebody who didn't have 20 pounds to lose, fine. But if you want to lose 20 pounds in a month, you've been doing something not right. And one might be you don't regularly exercise. You don't see the value of that. You can decide, I'm going to exercise 20 minutes every day. What else are you doing that shows you really care? That's one thing this will do, is reveal you really care. And what it does.
Now, as a coach, I'm not even going to work with you. Once you show me that you're not willing to work, I'm not going to work with you. I am not going to be more excited about meeting you getting started than you are about coming. You're not going to reach out to me and say, hey, how did you lose 100 plus pounds over the period of 10 months? Could you show me? Sure. Could you help me? Absolutely. But if you put in zero effort, I promise you, I'm not going to be more excited about your journey than I am. That's just period. Because if you really want it, then you're going to put forth some effort. Because when you woke up in the middle of the night craving Taco Bell, you went and got it. So if all of a sudden you wake up and you got in touch with me saying, I want to lose weight, I want to be stronger, Coach Turk, can you help me out? Absolutely. Then you need to get to me. I'm not going to go out my way. I'm not going to hear your excuses. You got 1 or 2 times to give me an excuse and I will never call you again. I'm not hurting for cash, and the money is not why I do it.
Because losing weight is way less physical than it is mental, spiritual, and emotional. And that 20-minute walk every day will put you in a good place to accomplish this. So do that. Number 4 would be no second helpings. That's just straight up. It's right there. It's in your face. It's obvious. You know whether you're having a second helping or not. Now, oftentimes you're eating and you're done and you're like, a second helping is a must. I am not done. I'm not full. Plato said the greatest wealth is to live content with little. Hey.
Okay. This is where someone who's never been fat, and this guy's never been fat. He's never been fat a day in his life. And this is where you guys who want you want a trainer, but he doesn't understand exactly what you go through. When I say fat, man, I'm not talking about somebody that's 6'2", you weigh 215 pounds, and it says you're overweight. Because it will. If you're 6'2" and you weigh 215 pounds, you are clinically you're overweight. Go look it up. You should weigh 190 pounds. 190 to 195, not 215. If you were in the military, you would be getting taped. Okay? So, I'm not talking about that person. I'm talking about for real fat people like us. You know what it's like, bro. If you want seconds, here's the thing. A second helping is not what makes you fat. Eating after a certain time period does not make you fat. What makes you fat is you overeating. And eating a second helping is not overeating. Overeating is when you have surpassed, wait for it, your basal metabolic rate calorie burn plus the amount of calories you burn if you went to the gym or you went on this 20-minute walk. Once you are in a surplus, you have overeaten. So if that second helping is going to put you in a surplus, no, you don't need it. Okay? I can agree with that part. But when it comes to, well, what if you have a major deficit going on, almost too big of a deficit? You can eat again. You can eat a second helping if you're hungry. Because until you get your diet and nutrition right, your ghrelin levels, which is your hunger hormone, and your leptin levels, which is directly associated with testosterone levels, those things have to be regulated. So eventually you won't be as hungry once you start eating complex carbohydrates and get that carb timing down and eating the amount of protein you're supposed to and going to the gym on a regular basis 3 to 4 times a week. Let's get back to the video.
I know you still want more after you have a first helping, so here's something that's going to help you. When you sit down to eat, look at your plate. How's it look? And you might think, well, it looks like enough to eat. But you eat it and you think, well, I'm still hungry. No, decide before you start. Is what's on your plate enough or not? And if you look at it, well, no, that's not enough. I'd say then put a little more on there. But
bro, listen. When you get over a certain weight, y'all fat, you know it's not going to, bro, if I'm hungry and I'm still hungry, it's just going down. If I'm still hungry, it's not that easy to look. I said I've had enough. You might can do it the first time. You might can do it the second time. You have to learn when you go on a weight loss journey, you have to get out here and get into research from studies that have been done on people and not just listen to influencers. Even like myself, you need to fact check me. Okay. You need to, because what's going to happen is if you start listening to just what somebody is telling you, you get into a lifestyle that you can't live. Like, because that's not who you are. That's not who you are. If you know you love to eat and you know you love to eat seconds, make up for it. You need to go to the gym more often. You need to do more. You need to be more active. If you're too big to walk 20 minutes, walk 6 minutes, walk 5 minutes daily. And if you can't walk the duration of 5 minutes, because you're probably going to take you 5 minutes, you're not going to walk that far because you probably don't walk that fast and you probably winded. That's okay. When you've walked to the point to where you're exhausted, then you turn around and you come back, but you're active. And I'll make a video later on, probably this week or next week, giving you some at-home ideas, the exercises that I was doing before I purchased a gym membership.
once you've eaten that plate, don't eat anymore. You don't need anymore. You're wanting to lose weight. Be okay with that. You are a Ferrari, but you've been eating like a Ford F-150. You didn't need that much food, and now you're carrying around this extra fuel in your body in the form of excess fat. So let's lose that. And before I give you this last key.
Now, I will agree with his analogy on this. I will definitely agree with his analogy on this. If you work busy, if you're a busy person who works all the time, then you need to definitely watch how many calories you're eating. That's the one thing that I think that's the worst information that has ever been given was the commercials that said, "Are you tired of counting calories? Are you sick of bro, you can't get tired of counting calories. If you know you have precursor genes or you have the propensity to become very, very overweight, you have no choice but to count calories. You have to count calories. You have to. There's no other way around it. Okay? You have to know how many calories because someone who works a 9-to-5 job in an office sitting there all day, they're not physical. One, you should not be eating more than 1,500 calories a day. You should not have more than 150 carbohydrates. And really, that's too much because you're not active. Now, and I don't want to get on this video, I don't want to get into glycogen refilling in the liver first. I don't want to do that. Not on this particular video here. I'll react to one later, or I'll just give make a video on nutrition. But yeah, now if you're a construction worker or roofer, especially like a roofer who climbs up and down, you're in the hot sun all day, you can have a lot more sodium as long as you don't have any high blood pressure or anything like that going on. You can eat more than what is the recommended daily amount for sodium. Why? Because you're sweating it out. You can eat calories that are to maintenance, because once you calculate your BMR, you're going to probably be in a deficit, because going up and down those ladders, carrying those 50-pound bales of shingles, all of that is going to make a difference as to how many calories you burn a day versus someone who works in corporate America that's basically sedentary until they get off from work. Okay, those are two different. The roofer can eat north of 200 or 300 carbs, and he needs it because he's burning fuel. But someone who's sitting at a desk, you have no business. Like, you should watch. If you shouldn't even have 3 pieces of toast in the morning if you're not intermittent fasting and you're eating 3 meals a day. You shouldn't even have three pieces of toast. That's too many carbs for the rest of what you got going on. You should basically be eating fruits, green vegetables, and protein. Lots of protein. All right.
I want to invite you, if you're serious, I really want to do this. What I'm giving you here now will work, but if you want it on steroids, then join my next 21-day transformation. I mean, we instill this in you. We give you that help that you need for the mindset change. And
all right, so we're gonna cut the video right there. All in all, there's some the parts that I don't agree with is this. One, you shouldn't really be trying to lose 20 pounds in a month, right? Because according to most medical and dietitians and other professionals that's in the industry, 2.5 pounds a week is healthy, right? When you get over into the 20 pounds, then that's basically 4 pounds every 4.5 pounds, 4.3, 4.4 pounds a week. That's a bit much for basically it's 5 pounds a week. A lot of it's going to be water weight. Okay. But all in all, we do agree on some of the same things, but I don't agree with, like, I would never even write a program as a coach. I would never write a program because that would lead to me encouraging someone to lose 20 pounds in 1 month. Like, I would never write a program like that, because they're going to end up doing some things. And then they're going to end up doing some things that are unhealthy. And then the psychological effect of losing 20 pounds in 1 month, if they don't hit that goal, that is going to be damaging. Okay. Especially, when you have been, obese or morbidly obese, in my case, for a long period of time, every little thing messes with your mind. And he did make a point in here about how mental weight loss is. All right. So I'm Coach Turk. This Dog Pound Media. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. Don't charge you anything. And I'm out.